What's going on, fellow rock and rollers? Peace and love and thumbs up and AK cowbung and rock and roll. And here we are for a walk and talk Wednesday. I know it's a little silly to be showing my feet in the beginning and legs, but guess what? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Changing from one part of life to the other. So what we did was we changed terrains from the sidewalk with grass to pavement where we're on now. What do you do in your life to be able to change from one thing to the other? It's called transitioning. It's really hard to transition. I feel like it's like a wildly underrated skill. We deal with it a lot for the people that we support and serve through music sessions, especially in day programs. They're always wanting to know what's next. And of course, every human being is like that. We want to know what's going to happen next. What's next on the calendar? What's the next trip we're going to go on? We're always worried about what's happening next. We have to be worried about what's happening in the present moment. But that's a whole other session. What we're talking about here is being able to transition, to go from one activity to the next, to go from being the CEO of a company to now being dad, to then being coach, and the different roles that you play in life. We have to kind of put on different hats, if you will, and rise to the occasion in each respective area. And it's not the easiest thing to do. So how do we prepare ourselves mentally for transitioning? That's the big question. How do we prepare ourselves mentally for transitioning from one thing to the next? Sort of thinking about being in the present moment and then thinking about, well, how can I prepare myself, whether it's on a walk or a run or a drive, car ride home from wherever you currently are into what's about to happen next. And trying to go in it to that situation with a calm, clear head. Because after all, life is always changing. Things are always happening. Some for the positive, some for the negative. And you want to be able to think about things clearly as best as possible. So I'm running right now, but I'm kind of thinking a little bit about what do I have to do with the rest of my day. There's a lot of sessions today. I'm running a summer camp, part of the West Hampton Recreation Department, with a bunch of kids, 10 to 11 children, for 2 hours. Then after that, I got a whole bunch of one-on-one lessons. One person that I see once a month, which is added onto my schedule today. And then I have a soccer game tonight. So all of these things are happening today, which require all different ways of thinking, all different ways of transitioning from one activity to the next. A group session is totally different than individual lessons. And a soccer game is something completely different from a group session with music, an individual lesson with music. And also, in between all that, I have to be a good father and a good husband, because my son is going to be coming back from camp at some point in the afternoon, and I'm going to want to be a good dad. So how do we transition from one thing to the next? That's a thought exercise for us today. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the day on this Walk and Talk Wednesday. And we'll see you next week for who knows what. Bye-bye.